Go.
Well, welcome to the Journey of Awe. Welcome, everyone. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we hear you fine.
Good.
Fantastic. So anyhow, thank you for coming on, and I am so jazzed because this is the first time I'm going to hear you guys live and hear your stories. So anyhow, who wants to start? Who is the brave one?
I'll go.
Okay, Deb, so I would like to know what was the inspiration? You know, we started the Journey of Awe, and we decided to do this 5 or 6 weeks course. And when I wrote the program, it was really, you know, an inspiration of transformation. And I would like to know what inspired you guys to start the journey.
Right, I'm gonna pick people now, right? No one's gonna come.
That makes sense.
So basically, I'm Princess Fizz. I'm the co-founder of Journey of Awe, and Zolda's my partner in this. And what we've done, we did a 40-day transformation. It's the first cycle, right, of the Journey of Awe. And very, very kindly, we've got Deb Mandel from America, Kim Nesbitt. We've got Matthew Helm. Matthew, are you from America too?
Yep, from New Jersey.
He's from America too, and we've got lovely Victoria from UK, so she's my homie. And these 4 participants have been our first in our 40-day cycle. So it's just come to an end, and what we're doing, we've invited them onto the show to share their experiences of the 40-day challenge. And there's so much that they've done because they've been journaling every single day for 40 days, guys. 40 days they've been journaling every single day, and now they can look back to day 1 to where they are now and share their experience with us. And it's been absolutely extraordinary to follow these people through their journeys. So Deb, if I can start with you, Deb, right? What made you, when you heard about this 40-day challenge, what was your first thought and what made you join us?
The timing, of course, was perfect. Excuse me. When I went to the our company event in Miami in January, I came back from that very reflective, and I knew that before I could move forward, I had to work on myself. And so I just kind of opened myself up to whatever presented itself to, you know, encourage me to do that. And then you and Izolda announced this, and I said, this is exactly what I need to do. And it turned out that it was exactly what I needed to do. It was so eye-opening, and I actually reread my entire journal through this whole process right before we started. And I thought it was really interesting because I started knowing that this was going to be a vehicle to help me transform at least my, you know, the way I saw things and thought about things. And the last day, I confirmed that. So I thought it was a great process. The grounding and the breathing alone helped quiet my mind, which is something I've always struggled with. And, you know, for that alone, it was worth it. But it was good to be able to, I never had a diary when I was a kid. So for me to sit and write and reflect kind of like I was outside of myself was very powerful. And it made you see things about yourself in a way that, you know, you can't when you're just in it.
Exactly, because it's a very noisy world we live in, especially being online marketers. We're exposed to so much information that we kind of lose ourselves, don't we? We lose our direction, sense of direction. We lose our inner peace. We don't know what our thoughts are, you know? So I think the breathing and grounding really help you quieten your mind and start kind of figuring out what your purpose is. So exactly, that's awesome. Deb, we're going to come back to you, right? And Kim, can I just ask you, what was the stage in your life when you started the 40-day challenge?
Well, when I look back, and I can't believe it's already been 40 days ago, but when I look back from where I was and what I was talking about and journaling about, I feel like I was really closed off to a whole section in my life that I really needed to deal with. And it wasn't until probably the last month or so that I really started to get real with what was going on with me and opening up about it. And the difference from trying to avoid it to actually connecting with it head on and asking some serious questions has made a huge difference for me. And I'm not as afraid of, I still have a long way to go. Life is a journey. But the transformation that I had in these 40 days, I think, is really incredible.
Excellent, excellent. And also, I think it kind of brings you discipline, doesn't it? When you have to do an activity every single day, it kind of eliminates the procrastination that entrepreneurs face, because they tend to leave things to the next day. And this 40-day challenge, it's been a roller coaster for you. I see that you have missed a few days, I'll be honest.
Yeah.
But you've gone back and looked at what the reasons were. Were they worth it? Was it worth missing those few days, you know?
Right.
So that's the beauty of the 40-day challenge. You can monitor your progress, and the days that you missed, you can say, okay, I could have done something different about it. That's where the transformation happens, which is absolutely
I think even realizing that sometimes when you're dealing with something so emotional, that it's different than marketing when you're really going through a spiritual and an internal transformation versus a marketing one. Yes, I could have done it every day, but what I was going through was so important. And I think on those days that I missed, there was not a reason for it, but it served a purpose also. And so I think it's good to realize that. But realizing, too, I could have gone back and said, hey, today I just can't even talk about it.
Yeah.
But, it was really good.
No, I love that because, sorry.
Sometimes pulling away and just reflecting on your experience, isn't it? It's just, I feel that sometimes that I have to pull it away from the story and completely just step away. And it helps me to recollect, actually, just giving that space and time.
Right, right.
But also on the other side of that, business is business, right? You have to carry on your activity and detach from your emotions sometimes. Do you think it helped you, Kim, to kind of be a bit emotionally stronger? That whatever happens, you can actually detach from that and do the activity at the time? Do you think that would help?
It definitely did, and I think that I was actually going into it more for a personal transformation, I think, than a business transformation.
Right.
I think the business was very much secondary for me, but it helped me get unstuck, and that for me is the huge part of what happened. Even separating the two, I think it was important for me to do that with what I'm going through right now. But looking back, I can see what I can do in my business that's going to just fly it forward so much more.
That's fantastic. Kim, we'll come back to you. You've been absolutely extraordinary in these 40 days. Isolde, if I can just ask you, the way that you put this program together, there's been different challenges or kind of exercises each week. It hasn't been one consistent exercise throughout the 40 days. Can you just explain to the viewers each week that you did, and then I'll go to Matthew and Victoria to speak about what they learned.
Yes, I built a program to really build upon each other. Every experience led to the next level. The first reason what I chose the earthing and the breathing exercise is to really ground the body and mind and connect it together. And when we went to the next week, then you were able to handle some of the challenges that I decided to bring on to connect. For example, the 7-day mental diet. That was much easier, I think, to handle with the grounding and breathing exercise, because when you face with those challenges, you knew where to go and how to release it from the body. And the week 3 was the karmic experience, which is the karma cleansing 101, that forgiveness. And in the third week, again, when we have to go through those experiences, the feelings, the previous weeks helped you to connect and use those tools to move to the next level. So I think every week what I chose to do is helping you to give a pretty much a foundation and build on top of each other. And reading your journals, it was definitely, I seen that you had the tools to work with.
Excellent, excellent. So, Matthew, ladies first. One more lady left before I come back to you. We have to be gracious. So, Victoria, wow, you've gone through an amazing 40 days. I mean, watching your journals as well. Can I ask you what stage you were at when you heard about the 40-day transformation, and what made you join it?
Yes, hello. I hope you can hear. And I've been on the journey to find really myself and my purpose for quite a while. And here, from the beginning of the year, it was actually working on myself, and I think the journey of all program came just on time when I was looking for like that to open myself and to find what I'm about. And one of the main things was to get rid of some limiting beliefs, and one of them, I've been known for a while that I don't love myself. This was one of the strongest beliefs I think I have, and this journey of 4, it really showed me. I think it was part what I learned is how to love myself, and this is great.
Excellent, excellent. And which week was your transformation, do you think? Which week really, really helped you?
It's actually sort of led from one to another, because with grounding and breathing, it really helped me to remember my childhood and to remember maybe how I was before when I was a child, to connect maybe to my inner child within me. Yes. And then the following week with negative thoughts, it sort of taken myself to the next stage. And I think it was week 2 or 3 when we had exercises to actually go to the mirror, to talk to yourself in the morning and to tell yourself a compliment. I think it was week 2, and this is when I think for me was more transformation about loving myself was in that week.
Did it help with your self-image then, Victoria, when you do positive affirmations? Does it help with your self-image? Does it help build that?
Yes, definitely. Yes, definitely. Because I can reflect on myself. I can. I think the exercise is also to see the miracles, and just to see myself and my body as a miracle is already a miracle. So it was very experience.
And don't you think, Victoria, we grown up in the same country? Did you when did you leave Russia?
I've been now in UK for nearly 12 years.
12 years. And yes. I think, you know, I felt like reading your journals, we were facing similar issues. I think being raised in the Eastern European countries, we have a very different tradition, which is we've been taught to ignore ourselves in a sense that you never praise yourself. And I think shedding those old beliefs was very different for me as well when I moved to the States. It's a very different mentality to kind of embrace of who you are and getting in touch with that, and shedding that, what I call the tribal traditions, what we inherit from the country, from culture, traditions, religion. And that was definitely one of my biggest challenges as well. And so I was connecting with that when I was reading your journals.
Excellent. And also, I think we come with blueprints, right? Blueprints that are subconsciously registered into our heads. Yes. And then this 40-day transformation helps you recognize those blueprints and erase them, you know? So so that's excellent. Excellent. Victoria, we're going to come back to you now. Leave the gentleman to last. But Matthew, wow, you've got so much that you need to share, because coming from being a tree cutter and having that kind of background, you're very in touch with nature in the first place, and now you've decided to actually just go full time in your business. What made you even decide that? First of all, let me ask you, why did you join the Journey of All? What was your stage at that time, and how has the 40-day transformation helped you make such a huge decision?
Well, first I'd like to say it's a little intimidating being the only male survivor of the it was just the right time, and I did not think it was coincidental that we became friends on Facebook and this opportunity was presented to me. And I just, I don't know, I don't even know where to begin myself. It just has been helping me phenomenally, both mentally and it's just been keeping me disciplined. And it rekindled my spirit to get back with the blogging, the journaling, and definitely with the grounding, even working outdoors every day, it still has been extremely beneficial.
Excellent, because I noticed a lot of your journals were about gratitude. How important is gratitude, beginning your day with gratitude?
It's been extremely important, because coming from a background of holding grudges, very negative environment, and I've noticed it didn't get me anywhere. And these past few weeks have excelled me by leaps and bounds, realizing that I was doing something epically wrong in my past. So the gratitude, I'm even beyond grateful. It was eye-opening, to say the least.
Excellent. And the point where you made the decision to kind of go full into your internet marketing business, what point was that, and what brought that kind of decision on?
Probably when my knee gave out at work, and I realized I can't keep doing this physical labor, and I just realized I could deliver more value and help more people and just bring more to the plate than I can being an employee at a tree company. And I figured this was definitely the catalyst that brought me there.
Excellent. So realizing your potential, understanding that you are more than what like certain jobs require you to be.
Exactly.
And the fact that you have a canvas and you're open to draw on it, whatever picture that you desire for yourself. So that's absolutely fantastic. Now, Isolde, I'm just going to pop away because my daughter is calling me and she's being very, very noisy. So if you can just take over the panel, I'll be right back and just ask the questions far away. Lovely.
Sure. So anyway, I'm going back to Matthew. I was truly enjoying your journals because you got in touch with your spirit through writing. And so how does it feel to answer to your calling?
It's surreal, and I always had an art background as a young child, even from school, and I even carry that over into my tree work, as crazy as that may sound. And as I've said in my blogs, my first attempts were just that. They were a chore. They were looking for $1. That was it. This kind of brought out the creative side, and even when I went back and read through my journal, I was, not to toot my horn, I didn't even know it was me sometimes. I was like, wow, that was pretty good. And
they were good. Yes, I truly enjoyed your writing, because you're right, very colorful, and I think when you get inspired, the word takes you back, being with the spirit, and when we're in the creative mode, something beautiful comes out of us, and that's just like your soul is speaking. So anyhow, I take my hat off. I think you need to definitely write your book. Ask the universe what topic you should be writing about, because you are a talented writer. So tell me, what was the point that you had an aha moment in the 40 days?
It was definitely it was actually 2 points: the karma cleansing and the fairy tale. Those two, they really hit home for me, and I really It really spiritually and mentally brought me to another level.
Mm-hmm.
So they're definitely the, I would say, the hot points. And I wish I could have participated more in the grounding, but where I am, the weather just finally got nice, so I didn't get a chance to do it as well as I wanted to. But
yeah, the time is coming.
Try it now.
So anyhow, so going back to the karma cleansing. So what was when I'm gonna go through everyone here with the karma cleansing, because I think that's our biggest challenge, and I think humankind suffers from one sin, and that is the inability to forgive. Don't you guys agree? Because we hold on to, we've been taught that holding on to our baggage, to our pain, is, how can I put this? That is a necessary thing to feel like you are responsible. That's the responsible thing, to worry about our things, to hold on to our grudges, and not to let go. But that's our biggest obstacle to come over. What do you think, Deb? I mean, I read your journal as well. You had huge issues with letting go regarding your parents and forgiving. And what was your moment when you felt like there is a 2,000 pound fell off of your chest?
I had so many aha moments. I can't even count them. You know, I mean, both my parents have passed. My father has been gone for decades, and my mom just passed last year. And with my dad, you know, I had put him on a pedestal because he had died so young. And so I think I, in some level, forgave him. I had a much more difficult time forgiving my mother for a host of things. But the thing was, like, writing it down, and even though I had gone through this process before on my own, but actually sitting there and writing it down and why I was angry with her, and just, like, to me, the act of writing it down was like setting it free. And that was huge for me, because I just wanted it to move on, you know. And I typically don't hold grudges. There's a couple of people that I've held grudges with for a long time, and then there was somebody else I wrote about who hurt somebody, well, who actually continues to hurt people that I love dearly. And I used to hold on to the anger towards her for being the kind of person she is. But you know what? That's her road to travel. And once I let it go, it didn't affect me anymore. You know, yes, I can still love and support the people she's hurting without judging her, and just being there for them and being a soft place for them to fall.
Yes, and I think it's when it comes to judgment, we hold on to some ideas that it's going back to that I use this analogy that if you don't know what the color purple is, would you recognize it? And I think that's where judgment comes in. And when we let go, when we allow people to walk their own journey, then we free ourselves from that judgment, because we realize that they are where they need to be. They need to go through their lessons, and giving them that opportunity without us putting up a label on it. Thank you, Deb. Kim, when I read your journal about your forgiving and your karmic cleansing, literally I had goosebumps reading your experience, and when I was messaging you about it, that you know there is a gift in it, and I think you're already recognizing that gift. Could you tell me about that? How a tragic event can take you somewhere where you can be a resource or an inspiration for others?
I have felt, I had a very tragic event 7 years ago, and I've always known that it's going to be a story of inspiration, and I have fought it. I think for the past 7 years I've been very afraid of it, I've been afraid to even let the feelings come in because I'm afraid, once I start crying, I may never stop or, whatever. So I've been stuffing everything. And through this process, I have discovered that in letting it out and talking about it a little bit more and getting transparent and facing, yes, it happened, that I can be an inspiration to other people and that they can get through a major loss and that it's okay, that it's my journey. There's a lot of people involved in the story, and I think I've struggled too with how do I share my story without hurting anyone else. Mm-hmm. So I feel like this is a big journey that I'm still on, but what the 40-day challenge has done for me is given me the tools to continue to deal with it and to continue to release stuff. And I journaled about that moment when I could feel myself stuffing it, and you had messaged me and you said, ask a different question. And so then my question became, how can I release this horrible feeling? And a small burp came up, and it was like, oh my gosh, I can just burp it out. And that was huge.
That's one way to release it.
But it was a physical acknowledgement of I've got this pit and it has to get out, and so it could travel up and out. And that has just been a huge aha moment. As crazy and as funny as it sounds, it really has helped.
Yes, because the brain is like a servo mechanism, and because you have to give a command. Without asking, the answer will not be given to you. So I think the tools in the 40-day journal is to lead you to the answer and brave enough to ask, because that's why we stuff. We're afraid of our feelings. We're afraid of letting go, because when it comes to death, many times I notice that by letting go our pain of the experience, we feel like we are cheating on those who we loved. Mm-hmm. And we have to suffer because they are not there. But it's a perception that we have to switch. That instead of, if we would look at the gift, what they brought to us, instead of the loss of that person, then we can shift and we can see what was the purpose in our life, why they came into our life.
Right.
And how they left from our life as well, because that can, every negative experience can lead us to a positive outcome.
Right.
So, thank you, Kim.
Yeah, thank you.
Going to you, Victoria, what was your aha moment in the 40-day journaling challenge? Victoria?
Yes, I can hear you. I'm just thinking.
Oh, sorry.
I think for me, probably what I already mentioned is to really acknowledge myself and to notice how good I am, and not from the selfish point of view, but from really that internal love we all have within ourselves, and just to acknowledge myself and to know what I am good at and how can I help maybe others, because this is one of my biggest things, was like to actually find out what are my gifts or talents are, so that I can help other people. And it's not really anything about money, or it's not anything about how much I can earn, but it's about how many people I can help. And
yes. And I think, did we lose Victoria?
Connection's a bit slow.
Oh, okay. Yes, because you see, we're many times we're internet marketers, and we tend to we talked about this with Princess before, that discovering our own value and connecting to people throughout our stories is really, that's where we make our connections. And remember when I done my first, when I was in touch with myself at the first time, and I recognized what is self-love is, very different from being selfish. And Louise Hay was my, pretty much the mother of self-love, because in her book, How You Can Heal Your Life, she goes through the process of that I love and appreciate myself, and I'm perfect the way I am. And when I done these affirmations, I done this literally like 4,000 times in one day. When I was vacuuming, when I was doing dishes, and probably it took a week before I started to feel what I said. And in that moment, you feel this love that is not comparison to anything. It's just you fall in love with life again. And seeing your own value that's what self-love is. And we all come in with a gift, and I'm so glad that you discovered your own value and the gifts throughout this journey. So
yeah, to add to that, Isolde, there's someone that I was talking to the other day, and he said to me, how do you imagine God, right? How do you imagine if people are believers here, or whatever you believe in, how do you imagine the universe or God? Would you imagine him to be in the slums? Would you imagine him to be depressed? And when we think of God or the universe, we think perfection, right? We think perfection, we think happy, we think amazing, you know, you think big, and we're from that. We're creations of the divine, and why would we be any less? So you're born perfect. So all these rubbish that comes in between that defines who you are today, but then you have to refigure where you come from. I think that's what it is. Remember who created you. You know, you're created perfect, and it's up to you to remove those blueprints that have been formed in you from society or your parents or your upbringing. Forget about it, you know, forget about it, detach from it. It's not you. What you are perfect, and you're amazing beings, you know. So excellent. So can I ask a couple of questions, or Isolde, are you done?
Go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. I just want to go back to Deb. Right, Deb, are you there? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Deb, have you had a chance to go back to day one? Have you gone over your journal?
Yeah, I was saying you must have been with your daughter. I reread the whole thing before we started today.
Right, wow. How did you feel?
I felt good because, like I explained earlier, I mean, I was looking because I like to try to have an image or a video or something in every blog post that I do. And I noticed that the very first one showed a caterpillar. And the very last one was a video of the caterpillar turning into a butterfly.
Excellent.
So
Wow.
I knew that that's what this process would help me do. And it's an ongoing process. I think it always will be an ongoing process.
Yeah. That's amazing. That's actually incredible. So at the beginning you saw like a cocoon, was it? Did you say?
Yeah.
And at the end you chose a caterpillar coming out, which is amazing. I love that. And also, Deb, if you don't mind me sharing your loss of your best friend, because that was something that you were very emotionally kind of attached with over the past few months, and I followed you with that. You know, I followed you with that process. How would you see that? Say, for instance, you did the 40-day challenge then. How do you think you would have handled that differently?
That's a good question. I might have felt better about it. But, I mean, it's still emotional. Like, this month, it'll be a year.
Yes.
And so it's still with me. But I cry because I miss her.
Yes.
But she's with me.
Yes.
She's always with me. And so that, you know, that gives me peace. I'm just like, there was something I was watching, and I think I shared this with Kim, because Kim knew Steph as well. And it's something that we're involved in business-wise, and we were looking, and they were showing us the details of this, you know, back office and all this statistical analysis. And my only thought was, oh my God, if Steph had seen this, she would have been blown away, because that's the kind of stuff that she loved.
She loved, yeah.
And so, in a way, somehow, you know, I'm absorbing the things that she loved instead of feeling, because I mean, our in our partnership, not our friendship, but in our business partnership, you know, we had very delineated tasks. And so I knew nothing about the stuff that she did, and so that was part of my struggle this last year was, how am I ever going to get any of this?
Yeah.
And slowly but surely, I'm getting it, and not only getting it, but finding out it's pretty interesting stuff.
Yeah.
So I feel like she's just kind of there, nudging me along, going, yeah, see, I told you you could do this. You know how to do this. So I was feeling so overwhelmed last year and full of doubt that I could, continue being in business and at this kind of business. And I've since decided that, you know what, I love to learn. I think I journaled about, that I want to learn something new every day. That is certainly happening with all the stuff going on in our business. But I'm overwhelmed, but not like upset about it. I'm almost embracing it, because it's like, oh wow, there's this to learn and there's that to learn. And I think I told this to Kim too the other day. I feel like all the pieces are all the puzzle pieces are now in front of me. So now I just got to put them together. And before I felt like the puzzle pieces were scattered over the universe. Now I feel like I've pulled them all in.
Okay, I'm going to ask a really weird question now. I don't know if anyone can relate to this, right? It's kind of weary. I don't know if it's going to come out right, but I'm just speaking from the heart right now. The connection that you had with your friend Deb,
Yeah.
Obviously it brings you to tears because that's how much you loved her, right? Maybe because she was that part of her that you've just experienced through this 40-day challenge. Do you think that she's gone through this journaling with you? Like, do you think you've become one in this? Do you think she's doing it through you?
Quite possibly, because we used to, one of our favorite endearments for each other was brain.
Right.
We felt that we were the other half of the other person's brain. We have similar physical traits, although she was much more diminutive than me, but we're both strawberry blondes, feisty personalities. And we were different in the way we thought about things in a philosophical perspective, but in so many other ways we were like the same person.
Right.
And yeah, I mean, I think in one of the journal entries I even wrote about an experience where she when I was in the middle of doing this and I was at my happy local casino, she literally sent a message to me right there, and I journaled about that. So yeah, I very much feel she's been a part of this because she wants me to be happy.
Exactly. That's beautiful, because when we die, I mean, we only leave our body. We become energy, right? And that energy is around us. It becomes, out there. So there's no reason why you can't connect with that energy source. So, so I think love draws you together, and before you come into this world as well, I believe there's like land of souls where you build these connections. So excellent. Deb, thank you very much for clarifying that for me, because I needed to learn about that.
Oh yeah, no, she's always with me.
Excellent. Love that. Now, who should I pick? Oh, okay, Kim, you're very quiet. Okay, Kim, I want to ask you, Kim, have you gone over your journal?
I have not, because it's been pretty emotional for me, but it's definitely something I'm going to do. But I can feel the difference of who I was 40 days ago to who I am now.
Right, what is the difference? What is that emotional kind of empowerment that you felt?
It's a lot stronger.
Right.
It's a lot more sure of where I'm going. It's the ability to understand these feelings and not stuff them, which is huge, because I think that stuffing has kept me stuck for a very long time.
It's about channeling it, isn't it? Channeling.
Yeah, definitely. And something that happened too, I have never been able to quiet my mind. I mean, it is firing all sparks 24/7. And I've been getting a massage every other week for a couple months. But recently, I actually went in for my massage, and there was a moment, and it was very brief, where my mind was completely blank. And it was the most wonderful, blissful feeling I have ever had in my life, and I don't think I've ever experienced that before.
Yes.
And I really think it's from the tools that I was given to learn how to do that. And it's definitely something I want to try again for a longer moment. And it was funny when it happened because I was like, oh, did that just happen? Yeah, I think it
Oh, you started to think again.
That's wonderful, Kim. That's wonderful. Excellent. Azalda, did you speak about your last week? Sorry if I missed that.
About what?
The last week? You know,
we have not talked about the last week yet. But I want to go back to Kim a little bit here. You know, that moment of bliss, that's when you connect to your source completely. Isn't it? Isn't that amazing? That is when it's like plugging into the source and just being one with it and pulling all the juice of love and content and peacefulness and joy and anything that you can put under one roof. Positive energy. That's it.
Yeah, and that is definitely something I want to do again.
Excellent. Addictive.
Yeah.
And one more thing I wanted to talk about it, and I think what Kim went through is, the way I see it, is that she was brave enough to face her fears. Because I think cleaning our packed emotions, what we store under the rug, and facing that, I think it takes huge courage. And even, you know, what you went through with your loss of the family, and but with your mom, and able to face that pain, and I think I am at awe. And anyhow, I admire you for that.
Thank you for giving me the tools to finally do it. You know, it's been huge.
Absolutely beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Right, guys, it's coming up to near the end, and there's so much to talk about still, so I'm going to squeeze a few things in. But the last week, Azalda was the game changer, which was the fairy storytelling. Can you just tell the audience a bit about that?
The game changer?
Yes.
The last week, what we chose is that every negative experience comes into your life, you have to look at it as with a different pairs of eyes. And that means that if something negative comes, look at it as an opportunity instead of a problem. So what kind of challenges you guys had the last week that you can use that tool? And what kind of outcome came out? Because I gave 3 questions. That what can you learn from it? What is the gift in it? And the third question was, I forgot my own questions.
It's okay. Victoria, what was the game changer like for you? Because that was like the last week, okay? That's where obviously different stages, transformations happen, but that was like a whole new movement that's meant to happen. What was the highlight for you that week?
The last week we had some struggles with our laptops and computers at home, so this was something to learn about, or we definitely discussed at home, like what did we learn from this experience and how can we do maybe better next time. But actually we ended up, we believe, with a better computer than we had before, so it wasn't that bad.
Excellent.
Yeah, so you see, there was the gift in that one.
Yeah, and I think one of the last day I was very sick. I think it was day 39, and I was journaling that I spent half a day in the bed, and this like never happened since probably I was at school last time. And what I realized then that actually sometimes I need just to take time out and just to look after myself and not to think about anybody else. And this was also the game changer again around the same subject of loving myself and looking after myself and putting myself first. So this is really something showed me what again looked like negative experience because I was sick and I was not able to do anything. I was so weak that I just wanted to lie down and close my eyes. And what was positive in it actually to realize that it's actually something I need and it's good for me, and how much better I would feel afterwards.
Excellent. Azalda, do you want to say anything with that?
No, it's just the last question was, how can you use this? And that's how you can use it. You see, just I think accepting what is, and I think you, Princess, helped me to accept that too. When a challenge comes, you sometimes you just freak out. Oh my gosh, you're only focusing on the problem. But here's the thing: what if we, if we have the perception that every problem comes with a positive outcome, then we seek what is the positive behind it and how fast we can change our reality and how fast we can change. So that's, you coming to the conclusion that you being sick, actually, that's what you needed. And using that and allowing yourself to be, because that's the only time you allow yourself to be, to stay in bed when you're sick. Otherwise, you would push yourself.
I love that, what you just said, Isolde, because every problem or any challenge that we have, it plants an equal seed of opportunity. Yes. If you're too involved in the problem or the struggle, you won't recognize the opportunity, so that's the best way. And the beautiful thing is, one thing I'd like to add to this, we can't control external factors, okay? We cannot control that's not in our control. Whatever happens out there, we have got no control over. But what we can control is how deeply it affects us and how long it affects us for. So it's okay to be sad, it's okay to be upset, it's okay to be angry. We're humans at the end of the day, but the extent of that anger, sadness, or anything negative goes, that's down to your inner control, and you're in full control of your inner world. So excellent, lovely. Now Matthew, I want to know, Matthew, it's been an extraordinary journey for you over the 40 days. How are you going to go over this now? How are you going to continue this?
This to me is just the beginning. This actually wasn't even the tip of the iceberg.
Wow.
Not almost every day I have like this electric current just pulsating through me, and I'm sitting here babbling just thinking about it. It's really mind-blowing knowing I'm like a kid on Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
And this 40-day is turned into I forget what I haven't stopped, and the blogging hasn't stopped.
Wow.
And I'm definitely going to continue to take this to every level I possibly can. And
that's wonderful. No, absolutely. You're right. It is the beginning, because this is where you carry it on, right? And obviously things change, new things happen, But let me just ask you, obviously for the viewers' sake, we've been talking about journaling a lot, right? You probably heard each of us speak about the journal. Now, what we've encouraged these participants to do is journal daily. Every single day, they have to do a blog post. Even if they miss one, they have to say why they did it, why they missed it, etc. So the weekly challenges and exercises that Isolde provides, that's the perception that they have to use to blog daily with, right? So if I can go back to you, Deb. Why is it important to journal in your eyes? I'm going to go through each one. I just want to know your opinion. How is it important? Why is it important? And how has it helped you to journal?
I think it's important. Number one, I think when I found for myself that when I started writing and just started writing, it allowed things that I didn't even realize that I needed to bring up, to come up. They just came out on the paper. And so it was a way of letting your subconscious or your soul out.
Yes.
So,
without attachment. Without attachment?
Yeah, very much without attachment. It just kind of came out. It's like, oh wow, I never looked at it that way. Or it was more that kind of a thing, like making discoveries, because when you're not, this was a really valuable lesson for me, because I never did like log on a regular basis or journal ever, and since I'm 60, just shows an old dog you can teach new tricks. And
60.
But and I do like to write, you know. I mean, it's not that I don't like to, but I've always seen it as a chore. But going through this process, and yes, I admit I missed a few days also. But when I started to do it, it just kind of flowed. I mean, I know that, and I got that sense from every other person that did this project with, you know, all of us. You know, because I read everybody's journals as well, and I could just like reviewing my own post, but reading others, I could literally see people having a little light bulb go on over their head.
Yes, excellent, excellent. How about you, Kim?
I think in the beginning I was very much writing for other people, knowing that like I was so freaked out thinking, oh my gosh, other people are going to be reading this, that I almost lost sight of what I was trying to do. And when I finally let that go and just started writing for myself, it really made a difference. Still in the back of my head thinking, you know, this could maybe help somebody, but that wasn't my first thought. My first thought was, I really need to get down to the core of what the heck is holding me back, and why am I so stuck in this story, and how do I get out of it?
Yes.
That really changed, and I too really enjoyed reading everybody else's blogs and seeing their journey as they went through it. I think by doing it every day or almost every day, it really connects you to what is going on in your life and lets you take a few minutes. And I always blogged very, very late at night. It was just a real good reflection for me of what had happened throughout the day. And just that time it took to go, oh, wow, okay, that happened. Because otherwise I think a lot of times really good things can happen and you don't even notice them until you take the time to write them out. So I think that was really valuable.
Excellent. And also being part of a small community, did that help, Kim?
That was very, very, very helpful. Because you really felt like you were never alone. Like you could go in and even ask a question, like say, okay, whatever. And, you know, I even private messaged with a few other people and could say, you know, I'm really stuck on this. What do you think about that? And that really, really helped.
So the going on the journey with you at the same time is quite reassuring, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's another strength, I reckon. It's another strength.
Yeah.
And wonderful. Excellent. Now, Victoria, what about you?
For me, I'm a very quiet person. I don't talk much to a lot of people. For me, it was actually very interesting to put everything out, what I think. And just to write down on the paper instead of what I would be maybe talking to my friend about.
Right.
And also, even those days when I thought that I'm really not writing about anything because nothing happened really on the day and nothing really, I had anything inspiring. And actually after when somebody was writing the comments for me and saying that something was inspiring for them or they could reflect on it, it was actually very interesting to see that how we are connected all together. And I think it was even a couple of times with Deborah, we had similar experiences on the similar days. And it was just to read other journals as well. It was very, very interesting and very, very excellent experience.
And also, Victoria, I know you're doing it for yourself, but because it's public, right, it becomes a contribution as well, doesn't it? How does that help kind of encourage you that your experience can actually be read by someone else and help them?
Honestly, I don't, maybe this is part of me still struggling with loving myself and being capable to give to others. But because in a lot of things what I wrote, I don't feel or I don't see how other people how can contribute from it. But just from five of you reading your comments that you found something useful from it, actually encouraging me to write more. Excellent. And just to do it again. And since we finished now the journaling challenge already, 3 days ago I was still writing something.
Oh, and wonderful! So the habit's been created. That's beautiful.
Yes.
Excellent, excellent, Victoria. Now, Matthew, how about you?
For me, the group itself was like my accountability partner.
Yes.
And the journaling was keeping myself as my own accountability partner. so that helped me quite a bit. And not to mention the blogging was helped me out a lot with my little phobia with video, which I still have to overcome.
You have got no reason to have phobia because you're absolutely fantastic, okay, and you're natural on screen, so you have no reason to have that fear in you. But no, absolutely right. Did it help you detach as well from situations that you're in?
Yes, it helped me detach, and reading other blogs, it was just kind of wild for me seeing similar stories on similar days, and you just, for me, I didn't feel alone. I was like, oh, okay, wow, somebody, not even in the same state, similar situation. So on one hand, it helped me detach, and on the other hand, I felt attached.
Excellent, fabulous. Now, Zolda, I just want to go back to you. We didn't plan this, right? But we ended up being accountability kind of people for the group. Because when we started reading the blog posts at the beginning, I mean, I couldn't help but comment on them because they were absolutely fantastic. I just had to say something, a few words of what I thought. And it kind of molded us to be accountable for the group, So even though they were accountable for each other, but I even kind of picked out people and said, look, you haven't posted today. What's going on, So in that respect, how do you think that has helped with the group? How important is being for the group to be accountable towards someone? If that's right, the way I've said it.
Well, I think. I seen this a little bit differently because since I wrote the program, I felt somewhat responsible for the group, for them to understand what I mean by my teachings. But a few times when I gave my opinion or I gave a direction when I felt like someone was lost, I think it was great that we were there because the two of us played two different roles. And to me, I think when you buy a program, you totally need to understand what you're doing. And so I think it was necessary actually for us to be there and guide the group through this. And I hope we were at help because when you write something or when you read something, sometimes you don't understand certain parts of it, and I think that small direction and kind of giving your comments on it, I think it does help the group.
Excellent. Deb, did you feel that? Did you feel that you were accountable for your journal?
Oh, absolutely. Without a doubt. And I'm sure if it had been like, okay, go write your stuff every day and you had no interaction with anybody, I guarantee you I would have probably stopped doing it maybe 4 days. Right, Kim?
Yep.
Kim and I have known each other for a long time. So it's been, we've kind of been shoving each other along.
Excellent. And Kim, do you think it helped you?
Oh, it totally helped.
I poked you a couple of times.
Yeah, no, it did. And I think going in, I really didn't know what to expect, and it was good. It was good that you called me out a couple of times because I could see where I could have gone into myself again.
Yes.
And said, it's too hard to deal with, never mind, I don't want to do it. And then you would come out and go, hey, you didn't do it today, what's going on? And then it stopped me, and I was like, oh, what is going on? I mean, a couple of days went by, and I didn't even realize I'd missed it.
Right.
Which shows how conditioned I was to stuffing it and ignoring it. You pulled me out so I couldn't ignore it anymore, and I think that was actually a really big help.
I love, forgive me.
No, it was good. It was good.
but when I mean business, I mean business.
I got that.
Excellent, lovely. Victoria, how about you? Do you feel that you were accountable for your blog?
Yes, definitely. And I think it was really great experience that it was such a small group that we could read each other post, and it was not like maybe hundreds of blogs to read, to go through every day, and we could actually read each other's and comment on everybody's posts. And I think Isolde and Princess, you both were really keeping us accountable for all of us, and you really were there for us every day. And I think it's really because the group was so small also.
Nearly every day.
Yeah.
That's what, Isolde, we chose 40 days, right? We chose 40 days, okay? Why is it important to do it for 40 days? Does it create habits? What is the secret of 40 days?
Well, the number 40 has many secrets, and the amount of the days, the length, is definitely helps to create a habit. But the reason why I chose 40, because just throughout history and through the time of transformation that I've seen in mystics, it's always been 40. So I think the number 40 has a magical energy that helps you to transform. And I think, you know, I've seen that in all of your journal, and give it on a weekly basis, that gave enough time, I think, to digest and understand the task for the week. Don't you think that a week was enough, or would you want to have it longer?
Kim, what do you think?
Task? I think it was a great timing. I think it was perfect, but I could see where it would be good to now continue again, and do the process again, because I feel like we're all so, you know, we made some great transformations, but I also think we have more to make, and now going through it once, it would be really beneficial to do it again.
And that was one of my questions, guys, that if you would redo it again, how would you approach this 40-day transformation?
Excellent question. Deb.
Sorry.
They're all going to sleep. We have to call them out, Isolde.
I'm going to sleep. I'm like, don't call on me. I really had to think about what would I do differently. Matthew, something to tell you. This is what my solution was. Thank you, Isolde. Was my earthing mat. It's still really cold here in the morning and at night. I mean, it's in the 30s, and I'm not getting out and putting my bare feet on the concrete. And I have to say, and I know this was off topic of what your question was, but I have to say that earthing mat, when I forget to put it in bed with me and put my feet on it, I do not sleep well.
Wow.
And I've had a history of bad sleeping habits probably for the last 20 or 30 years because I'm a really light sleeper. And when I put that thing in, and the dogs lie on it on my feet, when I put that in under my top sheet and put my feet over it, man, I fall asleep like crazy, and I sleep through the night. So I would definitely encourage that aspect. I think to emphasize the importance of the breathing and the grounding, I don't think it can be overstated, because that really had a profound impact on me. I mean, I still find myself just without even thinking about it during the course of the day doing those breathing exercises, which is a really good thing, because, you know, it kind of just helps clear your mind.
Excellent.
It helps you to connect to the moment, and that is so huge, because we constantly in the prison of our mind, and the only way to, I mean, that's my only tool that really helps me to bring back, and that is my breathing. And when I do that throughout the days, throughout the day, I just calm down, my mind stops thinking, and I just posted some posts about breathing on my Facebook as well. And that is just consciously pay attention to your breath, and even say it that I am breathing in and I'm breathing out. and you can shorten it to in and out eventually, but that is the most basic but the best tool to stop your mind.
Well, and I can tell you that when we first started the challenge, I was breathing so shallowly that I was dizzy almost every day because I wasn't breathing, and starting that in the very beginning made me realize how often I felt dizzy from not breathing. So that in itself was huge.
Excellent, excellent. And Matthew, how about you? Was 40 days enough? Do you think it was too long? Do you think it was too short? Do you think it was just about right to figure it all out?
I think 40 days was a good round one. I would like.
I love that.
I would definitely like to go again. Personally.
Well, I'm writing a new program, guys, and that's going to be...
Excellent. That's it. Izolda's busy with that. What about you, Victoria? 40 days enough?
Yes, I think 40 days is good because in the end of 40 days, I felt very much that the feeling of accomplishment. And I think it was one of the things actually that I finished, because I did some other programs before, and I think they were maybe 90 days, and by day 70 maybe I would finish it, and I would not go back again. And I think 40 days was really optimal amount of days that I could still do it.
Excellent.
And even continue, so it's really good.
That just proves, Izolda, that there is something magical about the number 40. You know, the reason why prophets and certain mystics have chosen this number, there's a whole kind of science behind numerology in that, you know. So, excellent. Now, Izolda, we've been bringing guests on our shows, you know, experts in certain fields, right, like grounding and breathing. We had an expert on that. We had an expert on deservedness, you know, and how do you think this helped with your program when you bring experts on?
Well, it gives you credibility, because every time when I hear it from someone who reaffirms what I known or studied and used in my own life, I think it helps me to kind of make my beliefs even more concrete. And so that's the way it helps me. But again, we all in different level of understanding. Yes. So it helps differently to someone else, and I always say that there is really nothing new under the sky, but coming from a different speaker, from a different teacher, from a different author, you gain just like a piece of puzzle that broadens your or widens your understanding, and kind of confirms and solidifies your belief, and makes your reality tune into that experience.
Exactly, because in these weeks, right, you know, when you've got grounding and breathing and, you know, your storytelling, you've just touched the surface, haven't you, of this, because they're very deep topics. They can actually be programs themselves, you know?
Yes, they can be easily, you know, 40-day program of itself. Every week we can extend it more. But I think it's everyone. We planted a seed, I think, in all of you guys, that you can continue this. And actually, I would encourage you to restart the program again and just go through it again and see how would you, because now you are on a different level where you started 40 days ago.
Yeah.
Just imagine if you start the program again.
Yes.
From this point, where is going to take you next? So that's, you build upon that experience.
Excellent. And also, the guests have said they've had their aha moments, right? Now, I'm a believer that we have got all the knowledge of the universe already inside us. So those aha moments, they're just basically us being aware of that knowledge. Would that be right? Is that how you would explain that?
Yes. I mean, the best way to put it is that we already have everything in us, and probably all of you experience that this process is not about learning something new. This is more about shedding something old, and you know, the tools are fantastic, but really you have everything in you that you need. Is just simply connecting to it, to awaken that part of you. That's where the tools come in.
Excellent, fabulous. We're born perfect, guys. We're born perfect. It's the blueprint. Excellent, lovely. It's the damn blueprint. No, we have to live in it. No, it's been an absolute fantastic show, guys. We're just over the hour. I hope we haven't kept any of you up too late, but it's been absolutely fabulous having you on. Thank you so much from myself and Izolda from the bottom of our hearts. You've taken this challenge with us and trusted us on your journey of awe. But I want to go through the panel very quickly and just one-worded answers. Deb, what was the journey of awe for this? Was this a journey of awe?
It was. It was actually a journey of clarity.
Right.
And I'm very grateful to you and Izolda for putting this together. For me, and I believe that the others will say the same thing, it came out, you introducing this at exactly the time I needed to do it. So for that, I'm really grateful. And yeah, I definitely, I kind of miss it. So yeah, the idea about starting over, or if you're going to do like maybe more advanced topics, Izolda, hint.
Yes, my next one, I would like to do a chakra cleansing and aligning program, which we start from the seven main chakras, and I would do a weekly course on that, on each chakra, so that way you can realign yourself every time and where you have a problem, because that's where our core energy is leaking when something is disaligned. So that's going to be my next program, and I would love you guys to come over.
Keep you posted. Kim, journey of awe?
Complete transformation, really. I mean, it's really brought me into finding my purpose too. So it's been incredible, would be my word.
Wow, excellent. Thank you so much. Victoria, journey of awe?
Yes, it's been excellent, and probably journey to myself, I would call it.
Oh wow, that's beautiful. Inner soul, right?
Yes.
Awakening, lovely. Thank you so much. Matthew, journey of awe.
Journey of awe was definitely awesome. It was a journey of gratitude and a journey of inner peace. And I just want to thank both you and Izolda, and also the members for sharing. I'm very grateful.
Excellent, excellent. That's absolutely fabulous. Thank you so much. And myself as well. I mean, I've learned a lot, learning about human behavior, the patterns, how journaling actually helps, and seeing it for life, seeing a 40-day kind of journey of these individuals from different backgrounds, different kind of cultures and different upbringing, how it affects them each individually different. Every story is unique, So it's amazing just kind of analyzing how it's all kind of panned out. So it's absolutely brilliant. Izolda, what would you like to say? I mean, I'm overwhelmed.
Well, yes, I think it's sharing and reading your stories, and I think we all used a sense of vulnerability, being vulnerable. Sorry, no speak English today. It made us. I think that the sharing the story and opening up, it takes us to a different ground and connecting, and also it empowers us. It's amazing that when you open yourself up, you would think that it's a place of being open to attack, but actually it connects even deeper to each other. I mean, I feel a huge connection with all of you, because just connecting to every person on that level, allowing us to come into your life and help you to offer some tools that you connect, you go on this inner journey and connect to your soul. I mean, to me, it was the most gratifying experience. So I'm in awe and ever grateful to you guys. Thank you very much.
Excellent, excellent. And one more thing before we wrap up. I really think it's important to mention this. Anyone that wants to start a journal themselves and they haven't got much technical knowledge or how to set up a WordPress site, we're using the Empower Network blogging system, right? So I'm just going to quickly ask the panel very, very quickly why it was easy for them to do and whether they did it from mobile, was it convenient? So Deb, quickly, if I can ask you, you've been using the Empower Network journal as well. How easy was it?
Oh, it's real easy. I tend to work from my laptop. I'm not real good on my mobile phone, so because I like to, when I start typing, I just like let it flow. So one thing I did was just do it on Notepad and then just cut and paste, and I was done. And then just click a couple of things, and boom. And I mean, I've used WordPress for years and years and years, and I find Empower Network's blogging platform way simpler to use.
Adding images, videos, easy?
Yeah, everything.
Excellent, excellent. What about you, Kim?
Yeah, very, very, very easy to use. I usually just did it in a Word document and then copied, pasted, put it in, added my image, and it was done. It was very, very simple.
So no formatting, nothing to play with, just kind of copy and paste, right?
Yep.
Excellent, and post. Brilliant. Matthew, how about you?
I found it extremely easy. No, I didn't have to learn HTML, nothing. It was, and I have an outdoor job, so for me to learn it, that means basically a chimpanzee can do it, because that's what I am.
Chimpanzee can do it. Love that. Excellent. And what about you, Victoria?
Yes, it was very easy. I also use a Word document where I type everything and then I just copy and paste, and it just takes a few minutes. The hardest part is to write something, and to post it on the blog, it's just 1 minute job.
1 minute, right? Excellent. And did any of you use mobile by any chance?
I did once or twice. It wasn't. It was just as easy.
It was just as easy, right? So you can shoot a video and kind of share it very simply, or maybe do an image. Very easy to upload through the app, right?
Yeah, the app's right on the phone. For me, I have an Android, so it was easy to download off Google Play, and it was a matter of minutes. I was up and running.
Excellent, excellent. Wow, that's it, guys. It's coming to the end of the show. I can't believe how this hour and a half has just gone by. But again, thank you so much, guys, for tuning in. We've formed this 40-day transformation, guys, to help you discover who you really are, is discover your inner powers, you know, what you're capable of, and just kind of be able to control your emotions to whatever external factors create out there by detaching yourself through blogging, right? So through 40-day, everyday, daily blogging, it creates habits. There's so many benefits and advantages of doing this 40-day program, and guidance, guys. You get a community to work with, you get guidance. As you heard from the show, there's so many benefits from joining this program, and it's so easy to do. So just kind of click below wherever you see a link to join. Anyone, you can actually join. They're all Empower Network members on this panel. So anyone that you relate to, reach out on Facebook. I'll even put the links under the video so you can actually reach out to any individual that you want to work with, maybe get some advice from, or whoever you're inspired by, and they will guide you and be your sponsor for the blogging system to help you activate. So feel free to do that. Thank you so much for tuning in. Isolde, any final words for the audience?
Well, I just would like to inspire anyone to check out the Journey of Awe, and you know, pretty much you said everything. I just would like to thank all of you guys to be with us on this journey, and I'm looking forward to working with you guys in the future as well on the future programs.
Excellent. And whoever does this 40-day journal of transformation gets to be on the show. 40 days later. So join our fan page, guys, facebook.com/journey-of-awe, and you can follow posts there and absolutely have a fabulous week. We've got an amazing guest next week. I don't know who it is yet, but we'll figure out and give you banners. We're still in the process of confirming some amazing guests for the show as well. So excellent. Thank you very much, and have an awesome week. Bye-bye.
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 Thank you.
Bye.